Hey, good people, Davia here, and welcome to another episode of Tales from the Shaker, a Davia Williams Stevenson podcast. Y'all, you know I love a creative and I love an origin story. And so I've got another bad sister here. Her name is Nichole Burton. We're going to call her Nikki, Kinks by Nikki. And we're going to learn a little bit about her journey, share some of her art. She's wearing a lot of her creations and looking absolutely fantastic, which I always tell you all the time. I think you're I like to look at you.
Thank you.
So come along with me. I don't know her that well, but I've had an eye on her for a while, watching her art. I've seen her in various locations where you're vending. I remember at the Columbus Museum of Art, you had a display that was absolutely beautiful. And I've never been able to just fully engage and also acquire some of your art. So I'll be doing that after our session. We've already talked a little bit about that.
Yes.
And I hope that you will too. But you know the purpose of Tales from the Shaker, always, there's going to be something in this conversation, this unscripted conversation, that you're going to identify with. And I guarantee you, I believe it happens every time. You're going to resonate with something, and it's going to inspire you to shake things up in your own life. So I'm going to do a little bit of reading of her bio and let you know a little bit of her backstory, and then we'll get into this conversation. Is that cool with you, Nikki?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. At the age of 5, Kinks by Nikki, founder and designer Nichole "Nikki" Burton, began her journey as an artist. A Columbus, Ohio native, Burton is a self-taught artist and designer who's turned her passion for drawing and painting into a sustainable enterprise. I love that. Burton's creative instinct propels her to experiment with color and texture, producing a signature style that has evolved into a vibrant brand of wearable art that is far from the ordinary. I agree. A classic Kinks by Nikki creation is uniquely outstanding because Burton masterfully, and I would agree, combines colors, textiles, and cultural relevancy together to create pieces that resonate with its future owner. Art should be appreciated, not discarded in a basement or lost in a jewelry box. Keeping with her belief that each piece should be a one-of-a-kind work of art, she intentionally ensures that no one hand-painted piece is the same. Everything I create is intentional and meaningful to the entire collection. We talked a little bit about that. I'm going to touch base on another artist. We talked about commercial becoming broadly commercial and why that might be reasonable for you to do in some instances as well. I'm going to skip a couple sentences and get to, over the course of her successful 20-plus year career, Nichole has collaborated with designers, photographers, stylists, makeup artists, and activists to highlight, enlighten, and educate the significance and relevancy of African-American art. Additionally, Nichole also operates a mobile art studio that turns any location into an art studio in minutes. She also hosts themed paint and sip events throughout the year. She currently resides in Columbus, Ohio, with her 3 adult children and 1 grandchild. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I learned some things just reading your bio. We got some appointments to make, sis. Because you know I love to have folk over and I love to entertain. I'm looking for a theme, so I think a paint and sip is coming.
Absolutely.
Friends, paint and sip is coming. So welcome. One of the things I loved about reading your bio was that you said at the age of 5,
yes,
you started doing art.
Yes.
So that's really something to me. I have this belief that we are made by our Creator and given talents and abilities that we just discover over time. You didn't decide. So you are a great example of, you didn't decide to become an artist. You discovered early that this was something in you.
I did. My brother and I, we used our walls indoors as our paper.
Okay.
We had pencils, pens, and so we just started drawing. And so that went on for about 3 years. And then my uncle was just like, let me turn her room into an art studio. So I had a rollaway desk. Everything I would ask for Christmas was either Barbie or Crayola themed. Mm-hmm. So I used to have a Crayola caddy, and I would just ask that it got built up. Birthday, Christmas, whatever they wanted to do as a gift. Like, can you just tap into the art
So
side.
you got a practical nature about you too. Okay, let me get back to this. You used to use your walls.
Yes.
I think about every child I know, my two as well, wanted to paint or draw on the walls, and we nipped that in the bud. Was that something your mother, your parents allowed you to do? Like, how did that go?
She allowed it for a little bit.
Okay.
And we would get fussed at, of course. But then she was like, I mean, it's her room. She can shut the door. Like, if people come over, I can shut the door. But I'm like, it's not bad drawings.
Yeah.
My mom wore an afro for a long time. And so most of my people, they always had an afro.
Mm-hmm. So there's some layer of kind of protest in your development.
Absolutely.
So the fact that everything I have seen, and I haven't seen all of your art, but I'm looking at what you're wearing, your sweatshirt. You told me those were sleeves.
Yes.
That you pulled on. You can also use
as leg warmers.
Yeah.
Yes. So you can take it off.
See, how creative is that?
You can put it on as a leg warmer with some shorts. Put it on with a tank top, and if your arms get cold.
I love it. I love it. I'm just still stuck on you got to paint on the walls. But seriously, this creative part of your soul that clearly God, he made you this way. And you discovered it early, and you had caregivers that didn't squash it for behavior, that embraced it. Is I don't think the norm. No, honestly, it's not. That's really beautiful. You always think about your own parenting. I shared with you before the cameras started rolling that I went to a funeral yesterday of a beautiful woman that I know, and that funerals and weddings, they always make you think about, kind of be reflective of your life. And when you said that, I thought, I wonder, and both of my sons are creatives in different ways, but I wonder, were there things that I didn't see that I squashed because of, that's not appropriate for you to do the so-and-so and so. That'll be an interesting conversation to have with them. They're in their 30s now, so they made it. They survived. They're good. But I wonder, and I marvel at that.
Now, there was a time where my mom, she wanted me to have a good state job and, kind of dress normally. And I'm like, I would get fired on appearance alone. Like, my hair is going to be a color. I'm not going to dress in a regular, like, business suit. Like, I'm going to have on a denim business suit. Like, it's business casual, but it's just in jeans.
Yeah.
I just don't fit into those types of stereotypes or dress codes.
Yeah. But you didn't force yourself to. That's the message.
Oh, yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Even when I have to wear a uniform now at my job, I have on bright orange sneakers.
I like a nonconformist, because that's where the beauty lies. If an artist is confined by the strong, by the hard edges, right? I just think that the way an artist sees the world, the edges are blurred.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? You can look at a sunset and see 15 colors and shapes, whereas someone who's not so minded, maybe you're a concrete thinker, which is also necessary, right? We'll see, I see red and yellow and orange stripes, right? And so I think that carries into, as a person who's interested even in mental health and emotional development, that carries into your expression of emotion, your experience of emotion usually, of language. I mean, everything about you says, just in your casual presentation, makes a statement. You enter a room and you see you. It's confident, it's quiet, you're not screaming, but it's all you. And you're not like anybody else I see.
Correct.
I love it. I love it. I love the message in your art. We talked about it being ethnocentric. You grew up with all the adults in your life had afros.
Yes.
And so your earrings have a message. They look very Black, but they also are 55, because you just had a 55. You just double nickels. 55. You just hit double nickels. Yeah, that's you as well. I love it. I love it. So when did you begin to think about bringing your art to the people? When did it transition from being something you do because it's who you are, how you just create, that's who you are, to I can make a product that people can purchase and enjoy and experience as well? Do you remember?
I do. It was
My phone is buzzing.
So
this is somebody.
I had 1995.
Okay.
I was going to New Salem Baptist Church. I had 2 small kids, my son, and then my oldest daughter now was like 4 months. And so I didn't have a car. I needed stuff to wear to church. I knew I had fabric. I knew I had other stuff at home, and I would just make something to wear Saturday night, and I would wear it to church. And First Lady, Mrs. Troy was like, "Where did you get that?" I'm like,
she's similar.
yeah, that's
She's
my
a similar
girl.
Spirit.
Yeah, that's my girl right there. I'm like, I made this last night. And she's like, "What you mean you made it last night?" I'm like, "I made it last night to wear to church." She was like, "Okay, this what you do?" And I said, "Right now, yeah, this is what I do." And so the church had a Black Business Expo, and she had asked me to sign up. I'm like, okay. I never had signed up. I had never been a vendor, none of that type of stuff. And it went fairly well.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
So you had to make a bunch of pieces to vend, because sounds like you were making an outfit for Saturday night for Sunday morning, not necessarily
a table's worth of stuff.
Yeah. So did you start with sewing and designing?
I actually started with painting on little pieces of wood pieces called woodsies. They used to sell them at Michael's. Come in a package. I would go get those, paint them, glue them, put them together, and then make earrings, brooches, anything pretty much out of those. And then I went into painting on t-shirts. I saw a t-shirt that I liked, and I'm like, I think I can paint that. And it was all trial and error. There was no YouTube, no Google.
That's right.
Pinterest. It was all
You can own your inspiration.
Absolutely.
You didn't have to go look it up. Yeah. But I would imagine as your work gets out there, there are others that you inspire.
Oh, absolutely.
So how does that feel when you see, I would imagine there are some imitations.
Listen. Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's flattery. I said, it's not. I don't know why y'all keep saying that. It's nah. Okay. Like, we all have enough creativity. It's enough to go around where you don't have to kind of jack somebody else's idea, especially if you live in the same city. Like, that's the wackiest part to me. And I don't, people know I'm gonna speak my mind. So I've told them to their face or via message that we're not doing it.
You're not doing that.
No, thank you.
How do you protect your work? I've seen your wall art, your wall graffiti.
Yeah,
that's
so
freehand. That's
it's all
amazing.
freehand, and it's takes about 2 days. The longest one took about 5 days. I was at a school in Minnesota. That one took a long time, but the wall was long, so that was cool. But a lot of people wanted me to turn it into wallpaper.
Oh, I can see that.
The first one. And I'm like, well, that belongs to them. Those are their words, their quotes. It belongs to the family. So each wall belongs to the owner.
Okay.
And I incorporate their words, names of family members, scriptures, like whatever they give me, that's incorporated in that particular wall with the colors that they requested. So it's kind of hard to turn it into wallpaper, so to speak, because it's all custom. So, yeah.
So you can't really, can you copyright or trademark the process? I'm trying to think, how do you protect your work?
I would have to copyright or trademark the line work, not necessarily the words.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I looked up. It would have to be the design and not necessarily the words that are incorporated.
Okay. Because I'm thinking about those imitators, duplicators, and without your work being protected. Now, in this region, for sure, we know what's you, right? But I can imagine you're painting in Minnesota and other places that your profile, because it's unique, is going to continue to grow. And that's all the more people that are available to
Yes.
appreciate
Yes.
your process.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I have a burden all of a sudden. Like, how we gonna keep her stuff? There's gotta be a way to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that's something you're thinking about.
Absolutely.
In all of your many, so we paint, we design, we sew, we paint on walls and wood and floors. And okay, tell me if I'm imagining something, but did I not see you paint on a person? Were you painted?
I can paint on people.
I feel
It's
like
a
I've seen
surface.
something.
I'm a surface designer. So anything that's a surface paint will stick to, I'm a paint on it.
Okay. But I made that up. Did I see you post
No, I
something?
painted on myself before.
Okay. I feel like I'd seen something. Okay. Alrighty. So when we talk about, and this is very much in my space, I'm going to pull up this coloring book that I love, Color Me Dope.
Dope is my word. I grew up in the 80s. I was born in 70, grew up in the 80s. So dope will always be my word. It's my favorite word. It's going to be everywhere.
I love it. Self-love. Okay, Wakanda forever. I really believe Wakanda is real.
Me too.
And that Chad Boseman was my nephew. So
I cried real tears when he died.
Real tears.
Real tears.
Real tears. He was a prince, for real. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
I told you I want one for my granddaughter and one for myself. I like coloring books as a therapist. And there's plenty of studies. It's not just my own personal opinion. The connection between mind and body and the movement. Generally, when I give like directed journaling assignments or something like that, younger people may want to take the notes in their phone. I'm like, that's fine. Whichever way allows you to connect with the information that's relevant to you. But if you write it out,
absolutely,
you engage more senses.
Yep.
And it imparts. It's a bigger imprint. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I love the idea of coloring books. It's one of my airplane activities.
Yes.
Usually that I enjoy. So I will be acquiring this as well. I don't pay my guests, but you're gonna walk out of here like you just vended today, and you didn't even know you vended today. And so I appreciate that. But what does that mean to you? The dopeness, the Afrocentric nature of everything that you do. Can you say more about that?
So I get a lot of questions about why do I paint Black people, and I'm like, do you ask white people why they paint white people? I paint Black people because I'm Black. I grew up around Black people. Before busing, before all of the things that happened. Our hair is magical.
It grows toward the sun.
It could stand up by itself. We don't
sun.
need additional products.
Yeah.
We could do any and everything we want to our hair.
Yeah.
Put on a gold hoop earring and a red lip, honey. We are fearless in this world.
Often imitated.
Listen, never duplicated.
People getting surgery and all kinds of things, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? I feel a check even in that question, and I love it. I paint Black people because I'm Black.
Yeah, that's literally
is
my
that a
answer.
question?
And I'm like, do y'all ask white people why they paint white people? You don't.
Yeah.
You just, and I said, but there's plenty of white people now that are painting Black people because they know where the money is.
Well, there's that.
There's that.
There is that. I have a beautiful piece upstairs. You've seen that big piece with the woman. And we got that in South Africa, and it was painted by a white woman.
Yes.
And we actually went to her studio, and I wanted to know, because I think the work is beautiful, but I'm like, I didn't want to be contributing to a fetish of some sort, right? And I really liked her, and I really liked how she said she chose to paint Black people. Well, she paints other folks, but she likes to use saturated color. And she talked about our features, particularly of Black women. She has some Black men as well. She lives in Africa. So, and she said there was just a boldness and a strength and something about the lines of our features, as well as the skin tones being able to handle the saturated colors that she likes to use.
Okay.
It just grew that way out of an appreciation. And she seemed so genuine, and we loved her work that we purchased that big piece. But yeah, at first I was like, whole lot of Black people in your studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are we doing here? And I really did appreciate her answer. And she said, I have other things that I've done.
Okay.
But this method, she layers and layers and layers, colors, and there's hash marks. I don't know what you call them, but she just appreciated our tone and our strength. And so I think I feel good about that piece.
Okay.
Not
like
just
it.
because I love it, but I need to know the spirit behind
Oh, absolutely.
the things on my walls in my house.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I probably don't have any more wall space at my house for another piece of art. I got 2
Do you
prints.
rotate art?
I just started rotating it and I'm looking to rotate it again. I just got to figure out where it all is about to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just took some pieces down to put something else up. And I thought, first of all, our walls were so empty for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still some empty walls. We just don't have the right piece for them. So I'm going to show you afterwards a wall that I think I would like to commission something from you for. And we talked about that before the camera started rolling. Well, I really appreciate you. What do you see? Are you doing what you want to do? Is there places you want to continue to expand? What are your thoughts?
So I will be doing a 30-year art celebration later on this year. I'm doing a fashion show. I've participated in fashion shows. I've not put on my own fashion show.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that.
Okay.
I'm gonna have my daughter come and perform my favorite song and have some
she's
art.
A singer, so
she has her own kind of genre of music. I'm not gonna necessarily say singer, but it's a mix of Erykah Badu and Tyler the Creator and a couple other people.
Okay.
So she's kind of created her own sound.
Okay.
And she has a nice following in Chicago.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. So she was at the school. She had an A&R and all the things. And so they got her following up for her as she graduated. So
I love it.
Yeah. But that, and then I do want to get into some art therapy. I have a coloring cocktails and conversation event on Saturday. Small crowd, but it's some stuff that I want to try.
See, I should have asked some questions. So, okay, coloring cocktails and conversation.
Yes.
I love that.
But you can't have your phone present.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me why.
I just need the conversations. If someone feels like it's a safe enough space to open up about something, then it can't leave that room. And people like to record and experience
everything.
And
it's like it didn't happen unless you took a picture of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm the complete opposite. I am places and I've gotten left by my friends because my phone is in my pocket, and I've been in such a zone on the dance floor that I'm like, where are my friends? I get in my car and leave, and they're like, oh, we went to the next spot. I'm like, oh, I'm at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah,
that's an interesting tension.
Yes.
I think, particularly when you have something to market, right? My learning social media, I have folks that help me with that, and they're always frustrated with me that I don't do enough content. And so before I entered into the space, kind of like you, I'm just trying something. I didn't really even know what podcasting was when I started doing it. My husband and I were getting to the place where we're stacking our phones. We're not going to bring them out, but now I got to take a picture of my food, or, just get a picture. Everything is content. Everything.
Joanna.
And I just can't think that I'm that interesting.
Me either. Like Joanna gets on me all the time. Nikki, I need you to create.
She has really.
Oh my God.
She's figured that out.
She has really figured it out. My daughter has bought me stuff to help me with content creation, but I just start painting. I don't have time to set up tripods, and I just don't. Yeah. And I have to do better.
Yeah.
With creating that. So Saturday, I'm going to do better with at least getting stills and the setup, the breakdown.
Yeah.
Maybe a review or two or whatever about what happened, the experience, so that I can market the next one.
Okay.
I have to do better about that.
There's layers to everything.
It is.
Because we didn't talk about the environment that we're in, even politically. this sense of, at least I'll speak for myself, not for anybody else, but this sense of us trying to be erased, right? That there's times when I feel like I need to capture because I don't know. Oh, well, that wasn't where I was originally going. Even this platform, you know, I do a lot of things on Meta and on Instagram and Facebook, and they've become a big part of our lives. I almost don't know how to function without it. So I keep in touch with people, how I present my offerings, and I'm torn a bit, given their recent change in stance on some things. And so I want to make deliberate choices, measured and sustainable. So I don't know what's next. I don't know if that's a cause I take on. If I stay where I am, I don't know yet. But this sense of, one of the things I love about your spirit, and clearly you've passed that on to your daughter. I don't know about your other children. You have 3 children?
I have 3 children.
Yeah.
They're all creatives.
They're all creatives. And I wonder, do they all have this sense of independence, almost rebellion? You said her sound is distinct. It's kind of like this, kind of like that. If you gotta have it defined, but it's her own thing. You're your own space. Your parents sounds like those, your caregivers, the folks who raised you were also very present, it seems, and independent. And I think that is a spirit that is necessary to move forward in this next decade or so. And, you know, art and faith are always the avenues for resistance.
Absolutely.
So I support you, my sister. I'm excited to see what's next for you. I'm going to have some Kinks by Nikki situations here. And I'm definitely going to touch base with you about a couple of these events, either a paint and sip, or I love that whole cocktails and conversation thing that feels like totally in sync. And you might need a therapist in the room, just saying.
Just saying.
Let me tell you what we're drinking. We're drinking Nikki's drink today. And the conversation was so good, I forgot to sip, but it's very simple. We use just Maker's Mark bourbon and some pineapple juice, you know, equal parts, garnished with some pineapple slices. It's good. It's probably part of why our conversation flows so well today, just saying. But, oops, that's some ice. But it's very tasty. Thank you for bringing me your preference.
No problem.
All right, good folks. I know there was something here. I know there was. Whenever there's an authentic conversation, whenever you get a peek into somebody's life, there's something you can take to use as inspiration. Not to copy and steal, but to inspire you to be more of yourself, to shake things up in your own life. So thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you soon.